Hi YouTube, VTHV1 here. Well, today we're going to do a little video on how to repair a Trilight. Our Trilight in the living room has failed. Initially it just failed going from low to medium to high, and then it stopped working altogether. You know how that is, you just keep using something until it breaks. So today we're going to go through the replacement of a Trilight switch, which is on this bulb here. You can see it doesn't come on at all. And we're going to take this socket off and we're going to replace it with this one. And the reason why I'm doing this is because people attempt this and it's actually quite dangerous if you get it wrong, because of the way the cord wires into the socket. So I'll just get set up here and we'll carry on. So now we're going to have a look at the bulb that's coming out of this Trilight, and you'll see on the base that there are 3 electrodes compared to a regular bulb which just has the 2. And how this works is this is a 150 watt bulb, and it has a 50 and 100 watt filament. There's 2 different filaments in there, even though it's a Trilight. So on low switch you get the 50 watt, on the middle switch you get the 100 watt, and then the third switch puts them both together and makes them a 150 watt. So that's where you get the 3 different brightnesses on the Trilight. So this top part screws off, just a simple screw off like that, and then we pull up this. Now this is very important, so you can see. One wire is on the brass colored screw, and the other wire is on the silver colored screw. And that has to go back that way. But they both just look brown, don't they? So first of all, we'll take apart the brass one. So that is the brass on the black or the dark brass connector. So the second wire comes off the silver screw on the socket, and I just was correcting something that I'd said here. Thanks a lot. And we'll take the last part of this old guy off of here. There we go. So what we're going to do now is I'm just going to show you with the meter. So like I said earlier, the power goes on the brass colored side, which takes you to the inside and either puts electricity to this pin or this pin inside the socket. And the silver side, which is this one, we'll actually do a resistance check on it. It's connected directly to the collar where the bulb screws in, and that's exposed. This collar, I'll just show you. Please forgive me. It's harder than you'd think. There it is. So now we're on the collar. You can see there's a resistance. So if you took the wrong wire and you stuck the power onto here, which goes to where the bulb screws in, you would have 125 volts on the outside ring, and your ground would be going to the inside ring, or the inside pins, excuse me. And that's why it's so important to get this right. It's Bruce, I'm back. We're just going to take a closer look at this wire. So of the 2 connectors, one is fatter and one is narrower. This one is the fatter one. So the wire going into it on this side is the ground wire. And if we get real close, we can see that there are 3 ribs or 4 ribs on there. Versus if we turn it over, the skinny one, which takes the 120 volts to the switch, is smooth. Just like that. And that's really, really important, folks, for the safety of this. Because on the switch itself, I'm just going to take another look at the switch. On the switch, the narrower one has the power, and it's the smooth wire. and the wide one is the return, and it's the ground or return wire, and then there's your safety ground if you're using a power tool that has the 3 prongs. So now we'll take this apart, and it's exactly like the other one. I don't know why they send this screw unassembled. You'd think that it would be put on there. There, now you can hear it's clicking nice, not like the old one, which is over here. Kind of sounds wimpy. We'll just set that down. And now we'll feed the wires through this, because we can't do anything with it until we actually get the wires through the plastic housing, or this goes without saying. So now we're going to attach the new permanent socket base into the lamp. So we stick the wires through there. I'm sure on these shows on the TV, when you watch them, like some of the real fix-it shows, that they must have to do many takes to get things right. But here on YouTube, we only do it once. So now I'm sticking the little threaded screw back in there if I can. And that should just tighten up nicely there. So the whole thing should be fairly tight. So now we're going to take the new plug, and you can tell it's the new plug because there's never been a light bulb turned into that, versus the old one, which has had quite a bit of wear, you can see on the inside of the socket. So now I know by taking this apart that the one that has the solder on the end is the hot, and the one without the solder on it is the neutral. And also, if we look really careful, we can see, well, that's hard for me to hold that up to the camera, but we can see right there on the return, which is the white or neutral, it has the little ribs on the wire right there. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that is the white one. And we'll connect that one up first. I'm going to cut this off nice and neat. Put that in the garbage. And now we're going to mount on the silver screw the ground. And the wire always goes clockwise around the screw. This is something that most people don't know either. There we go. You heard that nice little click. So now we're going to turn this down, and as the screw tightens up, with the wire going around the screw clockwise, it sucks it in as the screw gets tightened. See that? It doesn't unravel. If you had the wire going around screw counterclockwise, that wire would unravel itself as it's turned around. So now we're going to connect it to the brass screw. Now it's not quite as brassy as the old one, but the screw is still darker. Now I think we're ready to reassemble. So this can probably turn a couple of times just to take up slack in the wire, and we'll push this down like that. And now we put the top collar on, just like the old one came off. And I think that's just about it. 1, 2, and 3. So there we are. Off, 50 watts, 100 watts, and 150 watts.